Action.
Oh my god, look at his face. His face is covered with face. The official theme tune's a face off.
Oh my god, that's not his face.
It's his ass.
I don't know how to feel it. John Travolta's character turned into a good guy.
Nicolas Cage, John Travolta. Will they, won't they?
It's a rom-com. What a rom-com.
Oh.
Hello, everyone.
You're my favourite rom-com.
Oh, thanks.
Well, it's not something to be ungrateful for, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good
all
week.
Really well.
You dirty bunch of sods. Most...
Oh, right.
Because our last video was all about sex, and it ranked like...
Yeah.
It's currently on like 1,100 views, which is...
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Pretty big for us, obviously, in these
Yeah,
early podcasting days, but...
Those are big numbers in the comparison to the rest of them.
It's just you put sex in the title, and people just go crazy for it, you know.
If you enjoyed that one, honestly, go back and listen to some of the others. We get sex always comes up. There's always something saucy to be said in every episode.
It's mad, that, isn't it? It's mad how like we
sex
were.
Sex sells though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's I guess it's like I don't know, because
it's weird. People are just. It's just an interesting thing, and again, because it isn't a subject that is like, it is talked about openly, but in the same time, it's like, it's definitely like that's a relatively taboo topic to talk about, So it definitely like just catches your attention a bit, and even if you don't know us, it's like, oh, these two are talking about sex. This could be interesting.
I genuinely wonder if people think that, like, I don't know, like, do you think we are living in that time where people would be out there and they'd see sex, and it's probably because it must be a trending word, right? It's got to be, because to get 1,100, why is it that like some of our content that's surrounding maybe like mental health or fitness or nutrition is only getting like, it's not even breaking 100 views, and
that's
then that gets like over 10 times the amount of traction.
I just think it's like, it just spikes your curiosity, doesn't it, really? Like,
which is, I get, there's an innocent side of that, it's like, I understand, sex is a very interesting topic, and but it can also be a very filthy topic.
It can, and it can go can definitely go the other way. We recorded so many versions of that episode that were just too filthy to air.
Some of them were live action.
Couldn't get away with those ones.
No, but either way, thanks very much for showing such interest.
It is really nice. Thanks.
Really nice, yeah. It was funny because I can totally see why people would get into that world of like, oh well, look, like, with like OnlyFans and stuff like that. It's like, I imagine, because having that engagement, having that, what's the word, like, like when someone satisfies your, what is it, like, you get acknowledged for something you put out.
Yeah.
What's that word?
Like validation.
Validation. Yeah. You put something like that out, and then the validation is like, because I was seeing those views going up, and I was like, wow, this is great. Like people are connecting with the stuff we're talking about. This is awesome. Then you realize it's like, is that like a bit of a downward? If you went down that road,
what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I imagine it's that thing. And then we were even talking about it afterwards, and we were like, oh, well, yeah, maybe we should do like a follow-up episode all about more specific question and answer things about sex, or just how do we do this again. And it's like, oh, this is interesting, because you hear stories of people that start OnlyFans, and it starts out as like, here's some feet pics, and then the next thing it's like, oh well, this 1 foot pic, I did this in it, and it was a bit more extreme, and then that's how things snowball, and then the content becomes more and more like explicit, because that's what's getting more views, so you lean into it, and it's a slippery slope.
It is, and it's tough, because I can totally see why people would get into that world, or not even that, like you see, like why, it's like, even at a lesser extent, like the idea of people being a bit more ambiguous with the content that they're putting out, so people are pulled in a bit more. So it's like, oh, we mentioned sex, people might have thought, you know, the way how we phrased it was let's talk about sex. People could have easily thought, oh, this is going to be, you know, you see some podcast content out there nowadays, and you know they're talking really explicitly
it gets really explicit. Yeah,
you see it all the time, and it's like people might have thought, oh, this is just a new, really explicit, sexually charged conversation. And it's a shame because, like, again, I feel like as someone is when you make content, you want a certain level of validation from people to know that you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So I can see then why people would be like, oh, well, let's just keep going down that. You know what I mean? Which is a you know a shame.
But I think, like, okay, so the sex podcast episode was the best we've ever done. That doesn't mean now that every single
landslide.
By landslide. That doesn't mean now then that we need to think, right, let's just capitalize on that and make every episode about sex, because then you kind of lose the like realness and the authenticity of it a bit, because 100%. You're kind of just doing things for like views or engagement and stuff, when really I think, okay, look, I feel like everyone who's in the content creation like business, not that I would even really consider myself part of that, it's like you've got to find that balance of making something engaging to people very quickly that could be something that is relatable, it's immediately entertaining or educational, but then also being true to like your community and being like, this is what people actually find value in. This isn't just for people to click and go like, oh my god, and then be like, you know, the views skyrocket, but no one actually is interested in any depth of what you've got to say.
They're just looking for the juicy stuff, which they're not going to find. So
exactly. Sorry.
Yeah, but with that said, we hope if you did listen, you know, that you did get something valuable out of it. I enjoyed listening back to it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed making it and listening to it.
I really enjoyed making it. I think it's an interesting topic, and you know, it's good. It's like, it's funny to talk about it, thinking of the idea of people listening to it. But then I kind of like, I haven't really listened to it back or anything, but I just feel like, oh yeah, like if people have listened to it, and it's, I don't know, I don't really think about it. It's like, yeah, everything I said, I 100% stand by and would say to someone face to face. You know what I mean? It's not like you get some random surge of confidence or anything while we're just talking here in our living room. Because I feel like I'd say it if there was someone sat over in that chair now. I'd probably say any of the stuff that I said to you. You know what I mean?
No,
like...
totally, and I'm the same. I was umming and ahhing about the erection story, but I was thinking, but then I thought back and I was like, no, not really. I was like, that's a very tame story of, like, you know, you were 17 years old. It was your first, like, you know, I was approaching a sexual encounter for the first time, and it's like, that's a totally and there might be people, and it's like, if I listen back to that, I'd find that,
I think it's quite a funny story.
It's
and also it was classy. Just like classy all night boner.
That's a boss band name.
I was just thinking that myself. We are classy all night boners.
That's so good.
You know, I was thinking that's something you shared that's like about you. It wasn't something you shared that in any way would be like, I wouldn't be like, Mike, like, you shouldn't have said that. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't actually infringe on anything about me. It's more just a funny story about you.
It's also not that revealing, because I feel like any man or boy that's listening to this knows exactly what that's like. That's not very revealing. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's fair.
But yeah, appreciate y'all.
But
East and West, baby. I'm all over it.
Oh, we support the troops on both sides. But yeah. What are we? So today it's quite a special podcast.
They're all special. We try and brand them all as special.
This is a really special one, you guys.
Oh, but if you were going to stick around for any, it would be this.
But this is literally a special one because it's number 10. Our podcast is 10 weeks old.
Get them out of number 10.
She's a little...
Also, this is the first, just quickly, we're filming this at night.
Yeah,
and this is usually
when dynamic.
This is the first one we've done at night, and we've just eaten, which is my like happiest time of the day.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm high on melatonin right now.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm very quirky.
But yeah, we've got a little 10-week-old. How big are 10 weeks? They're babies, aren't they, at 10 weeks?
They're tiny, yeah.
But yeah, so this is podcast episode number 10.
Number 10.
and we thought we'd talk about sort of like a real talk little episode for you. It's just about where are we going? Like, where is this going?
Where are we going from here? Because we've done 10. This is 10 weeks in the making. Where do we go from here? We do have this won't just be a big arbitrary talk about life and space and aliens. We do have a
Mars.
Mars attacks.
Mars is the only option at this point.
We've got stuff in the pipeline to talk about.
A few announcements, a few reveals.
Yes, a few very cool little things to share with y'all.
A couple of really exciting, like, little series that we're going to be launching on here.
Yeah, and it's all coming from a place of so it's like so where are we going from here? But with a bit of an emphasis on where Meg and I are both at with our personal lives at the minute, just with like some low key talk of business and
change,
and a couple of things that we're doing, like just in our own personal lives outside the podcast. But then we're going to bring it back to keep growing, and then talk about some things that we've got for the future after a brief sort of reflection on where we've been. So yeah, let's just bloody kick this bad boy off.
Let's just dive in.
Let's just
People always do that on podcasts, and you just like, let's just jump straight in.
Yeah. Let's. Oh really? Because I thought
No, let's just like keep dwindling for another 20 minutes.
Let's keep doing the small talk.
Yeah.
Let's just keep. Yeah.
But yeah, diving straight in. So.
How have you been, Maggie? What's going on in your world right now?
I'm really good. I'm in a bit of like a crossroads, if you will. But
I'd call it more of a mood.
Fat mood. But no, yeah, not a crossroads. Like there's just some like things changing up for me, like for my business, and it's like I don't want to like go into it too much because I haven't like figured things out yet, and also people might listen who follow me, like my business account, and I haven't really like shared too much about it. So
okay.
But I just think this year in particularly, like at the beginning of the year, just really lost a lot of motivation, inspiration for my shop, for making, for my business in general, and was kind of just feeling stuck and didn't really, when you don't see something's future, you just kind of like, yeah, I'm doing this, but I don't really see it going anywhere. And then, I don't know, you just have to kind of have that thing where I think for a lot of people, they have that, and then they just kind of have to call it a day and be like, yeah, like I tried this and like it didn't really work, or I don't know, for like their own reasons, which is absolutely fair enough. But I was kind of like, well, if there's things that I'm not happy with, and there are things that aren't motivating me and things that I'm not feeling inspired or enthusiastic for, it's like I'm the only one that can make any changes there, and I'm the one that the change has to like come from. So
absolutely,
I just kind of decided that it was just time for a change, and but that it's scary in a way because it feels like things you've been doing for the past few years you kind of feel like, oh well, you go in one head thinking like, oh, it was a waste, or oh, what was I doing, and bits of things like that. But really, like, I think about that, but then immediately I like talk myself out of that, being like, no, if you hadn't have done all of that, you wouldn't be at the place you're at now, where you've got that springboard and you've got like a foundation, and also, I don't know, I'm trying to start thinking of things like if you're going down a path for something and it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean then that you just like turn back and go home. That's just leading you closer to the next thing that might potentially work out. And then I guess like the true hardest thing is just whenever you meet obstacles like that, it's just continuing on a different path and going to something else. And I don't know, even the other day I was like, a few things just weren't working out for me, and I was just like, I don't know how much more of this I can like take, not to be dramatic, but how many of these like paths, and then there's just obstacle after obstacle and issue after issue where you just think, I don't know if I've got the stamina for all these things.
Well, you know what, I think the tell in that is, it's like those barriers are are great. Barriers are always great because you've got, you know, if it was a straightforward path.
They don't feel great in the moment though.
No, but that's, so my point being is that, like, if you were on a path that you were passionate about or you had a lot of love for, those barriers would feel like good things. You'd be like, okay, look, there's a barrier there, but I'll work through that. That's part of the thing. It's like, and then I think certain times you might go like, look, you look at all these barriers and it's like, maybe there's a reason that every which round I'm trying to get is not letting me through. And that's not to say then it's like, okay, well, you just abandon your dream, you abandon your passion or whatever it is. But it's like things change and you start to, like with us doing the podcast, it's like, how great has it been that like people will, you know, stop us in the street and be like, hey, we heard your podcast and it was awesome.
So nice.
And then, you know, I think you just like, it's maybe like the scene that you're in. I mean, I can only talk to my own thing, but I've had the exact same thing that you've just talked about for the past like maybe 6 months. It's been a thing of with doing gigs and music. It's like, it's me coming to this realization that it's like, I just don't, that's a world that I no longer identify with. And I do it because I do it just primarily because it's a good source of income, but now that sounds like anyone that's listening that's just listened to the past 9 of our podcasts, you'd probably think that we're doing a 180 on everything that we've talked about in the past 9 podcasts. But this isn't to say that it's like,
no, but we're never like denying that you need money to like survive.
No, but it's also a thing of like, we're not sat here saying, right, so we are giving it all up, you know, we're giving you're giving up your business, I'm giving up music, it's not like that. It's like we're looking at the path that we're on and saying like, look, does this bring you total happiness and joy, and is this you living, you know, your best life with and you're having fun every day? And it's like, well, I have fun when I'm doing podcast stuff, and I have fun when I'm doing comedy stuff, when I'm making comedy shorts, or I'm planning things that are to do with comedy or sketches or parodies or writing on that front. I feel like I'm having a whale. And sometimes when I'm sat there and I'm playing music just for me, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
But this whole thing of like, oh, I'm just going to be that guy in the corner of a pub for the next 50 years of my life, playing the same music, getting the same people in the same environments that are not good. It's like, no, that's not. And it's maybe it's kind of the same for you as like with the making and with the market scene. It's like, okay, like for a time it's good because you stopped working a 9 to 5 and you put this energy into doing something that was a business, and you're still doing it successfully. And maybe it's like, okay, well, you can take that exact same attitude and apply it to something else that you're passionate about, or another avenue of where your business is at the minute is slightly different to what you're doing now, but it's still all for you.
Yeah,
and it's still
that's
all
what it comes down to, isn't it? Like that's where the passion is. And I just think recently I've just felt quite burnt out because I've been trying to put time into, you know, making a change within my business that is quite difficult. But then also I've been thinking, well, I want to streamline my business so it's less stress for me and it's just a bit more manageable, so that I have more time for making content with you, recording the pod, doing videos, because I see that as like, not that I don't see running my business full time, but I see like what you and me are doing as something bigger that's like, I don't know, like truly going somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's truly, and it's like, you know, it's truly maybe connecting with people for the right reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Puberty.
But you know, that doesn't mean that I don't still enjoy, like, I get a lot of satisfaction out of working for myself and making things and then seeing them sell well and seeing people enjoy them. Like, I still get a lot out of that, and it still means that I'm getting to like create my life and mold my life around what makes me happy. But then, you know, there's small elements to that I don't particularly enjoy, like feeling like I'm just constantly working and never really switching off. And then when I am switching off, I feel like I take it the other way, where it's like, you know, like I'm just dead chill, I'm doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh well, hang on, you haven't actually made time for like these other billion tasks that like you just constantly have. Like when you work for yourself, like the work never stops, the work never stops, sort of thing. Like there's always something more to be doing. And I don't like that. I don't like the instability of doing like craft markets and arts markets and stuff, they are so unpredictable, and they can really like deflate your entire sense of confidence when you can't rely on the income and you can't rely on how the day is going to be, and you know, navigating all these different things, it's difficult. So, you know, like for you with gigging and doing like live music, being a musician, it's like there's elements to that are great, because it's like, you know, it's little hours in the grand scheme of things. It's not that many hours of work, face to face time.
If you count it as like a 40 hour, what an average would be, a 40-hour week for the average person. It's nothing like that. But
and it's, you know, and it is paying you, it's affording you like a livelihood, but
it doesn't bring
you much joy, you know, like. And you know, but it's like, you know, it's having like, okay, day to day, most of the day to day is going well. There might be little things that aren't great, and then, but being like, okay, what's the plan for, like, where do you see this in a year, or
that's it.
And then being like, okay, nothing is going to change overnight to get me there, but what am I doing every day to move towards that goal? And
that's it. And we're doing it with Keep Growing, not just with the podcast, but with, you know, with other things that are to do with what Keep Growing is, like on a day-to-day basis, and
making hilarious videos. Made some funny videos today.
We've made a bunch of funny ones that were really that we're really excited to share.
And that was tough, because we weren't, you know, at the start we weren't thinking like, oh, these videos all need to be funny, but again, that's actually what I think we really actually enjoy the most, because it just makes us laugh. Like,
well, that's the whole thing with, like, you know, doing these comedy reels in general, because they don't always have to. I know, like with mine, I think I take mine to a bit of an extreme.
Yours are like truly to make people laugh.
Yeah, there's
to be like, what the hell?
There's nothing else in it apart from trying to make someone laugh. But you know, a guy messaged me yesterday. This guy that I know, and I think I've met him like once, and he said, you know, he messaged me and he was like, "You got to send me that video you made of the guy of you with the Suns Out Guns Out, because I need to show it to my mate who's not got Instagram." And I was like, "Oh, it's on YouTube here." And then he was like, "Oh, you know, this is amazing, really funny." And then he said, like, you know, and we agreed on a lot of things. He was like, you know, about how the music scene can be quite serious, and there's a lot of ego. There's not a lot of, in the music scene, there's not a lot of room to laugh at yourself, but there's a lot of room to take yourself very seriously. And this is my music, and he, you know, and he made a good point of just saying, and he said something like, you know, he really tries to make it a thing that if he can make someone laugh every day, that's a really good thing.
Nice.
And
it's a nice feeling.
And I definitely resonated with that, especially because if that one person's me, if I can get through the day and I've made myself like crack up, where I'm like, that's great, that's you know, and I feel very excited about diving into that world more. But there was a time when I was a kid, and it was like when I was like 17, 18, 19, I was like, you know, I was like, this is my life. I'm a musician, and that's what I will be, and I'll die a musician.
Alex Turner,
or you know, Liam Gallagher, or any of these people, you know, and I'm not saying it's like, look, you know, we were all that age once, and that's fine, you know, and that's cool, you know, because it's good to have people to look up to, and sometimes it's good to emulate people, but you know, I don't know, if for me anyway, it's like, that's what I mean. It's like right now, it's like I've got gigs galore. Every weekend I can get a gig. That's like, so I've got mates who can't get any gigs, and they're really struggling right now, and it's like, that's what they want. And then but that 10-year thing, it's like, do I want to be 37 and sat in that pub and being like, oh, cracking, I've just done this 2-hour gig where I've played other people's music and I've made whatever money. Oh yeah, I can kick back and relax now. And it's like, yeah, I just don't think it's really sustainable. I don't think there's any fun in that anymore. But the idea of being like, okay, well look, we're starting something now, and you know, and I'm starting something new by myself, and you know, let's see how that looks within the next 10. That to me looks, even though it's like it's more unstable and it's less clear, that to me is way more exciting than what I'm doing right now.
But it's the thing of like, you know, I think one of my fears that I've realised this year and a bit towards the end of last year is like getting to, not even at age, because it's not really about age. Anyone can start. It's not like you get to 60 and you're like, oh, you're full of regret, and it's like, oh shit, you know, because I really believe that anyone can make any change in their life at any point, any age. But maybe not even at age, but maybe even getting to a place where it's like, I had this thought of doing something like that, like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
I gave it a shot for a few months, but nothing happened, so I just binned it off, and then,
Or
I
didn't pay the bills.
it didn't
So
pay the bills, and then, so, I just sort of like, came back down to earth and was like, and did this instead, and it's stable, and it pays, and it's not even like doing that is bad or wrong, and I'm not judging people who maybe even feel that way, but it's like I just don't ever want to have that thing of like there was something there that I could have done it, like I could have not done it, like made it, like I could have just tried, and like
yeah.
it's way better to just try it, and like who knows what could come from it. Like nothing, you're not guaranteed any like success, whatever that means, whether they're like, you know like I was thinking about like that sex episode like going viral, and it's getting like hundreds of thousands of plays, and it's like, oh my god, we've never seen, I was thinking like, oh my god, we've never seen like two people talk about sex in this way, or just thinking about these things, and then it's like, and then we're getting asked to go on like This Morning or something. It's like these two are like the voices of sex for a generation. I was thinking like,
I love how like even in your fantasy, the biggest thing you can think of is us on This Morning.
That's not my fantasy. I was just thinking of what if that happened. And then I was thinking like, if we hadn't have started this podcast and done that, we wouldn't have like, that wouldn't have happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, so bringing it back, I'm like thinking about just opportunities that you don't take.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, look, no one's promising you something will happen from this. You could be doing this for a year, and you might not even gain anything.
Could be doing
like,
it for 5 years, but it's
Yeah.
but it's also like, but we've decided to do this because we think that it's an area that we'd enjoy, and we
Yeah.
are enjoying it, and
Yeah,
we're
we
pursuing
are
that
enjoying
enjoyment. Whereas like, say if you packed it all in,
Yeah,
and
people pursue things that they don't enjoy every day.
they pursue money. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like no one like no one starts. Why did you take that entry level IT admin job? I just fucking get hard for IT. It's like, wow, oh god, that's amazing.
So
like,
true.
wow, you're killing. That's never the case. And I'm not judging those people, because I'm in the exact same boat doing a job where it's like it pays decent. But I only do it really for the money. But the difference is it's like what I did.
You.
It's for me,
Yeah.
and I'm not answering to anyone. And it's almost like I've reached. Not sound wanky, but I'm in a very privileged position where it's like I embarked on something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I've reached what I feel is the end of that line.
Yeah.
And now I'm
and
like,
now
great.
it's paying you
yeah,
to think of what's next,
yeah,
and to
100%.
like go into other things.
100%.
And that's what I mean. You might have something that you're passionate about, or that just like gives you drive and makes you excited. Like just even that, just being excited for
waking
like, the
up and
next
being
day.
like, how's this gonna look? I need to do this for my business.
Yeah.
Like, how much does it pay? Like, well, it doesn't, not really ask about
Yeah.
that. I'm just doing it because I want to do it right now.
Just having those things, and it's like, well, I'm not saying you have to like totally up sticks, like leave your family and leave your job or things like that, but if there's something every day that can obviously bring you a bit of joy every day, but then is like possibly moving you closer towards making that more part of your life, and
well, just like true fulfillment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like how lucky, I imagine a lot of people might feel fulfilled by the jobs that they have, but again, it's like I realize that you and I have a very not niche, but it's like I get the impression that a lot of people, they have their careers, and their job is like, I've done it for so long, and it pays well, and it's fulfilling, and it's like, okay, that's cool, and you've got your family, and maybe people like that, and it's like, okay, cool, like, because you've done the job for a while, you've worked your way up since you were a kid, you've been in it for a while, you like your staff, you're in a management position, so no one's really treating you badly, like if you're at entry level, and you're cool, and it's like, all right, well, that's, you do golf on the weekends, you go on holiday, it's like, that's cool, if that's, you feel fulfilled, that's awesome. But yeah, for us, it's like, okay, well, we might be slightly different in the sense that for so long we've done our own thing, and we've had that constant attitude of like, we know what it's like to really go and push something that's for us. And you say to someone, it's like, hey, look, try and earn your rent, all your bills, your food, especially in today's
with no boss paying you.
with no minimum income.
Yeah.
You have to find it every month, every day. you know, you never switch off. And I know that some people will be working 40 hours a week
Yeah.
contact, but we might be working closer to 150 when it's
Yeah.
like when it's the actual
That's so
day-to-day
true.
stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly.
You know, and
Like,
that's the
yeah.
constant give and take with our
like
with
physically today, have I made any? I've made £0 today, like physical money.
yeah.
But I have like spent time. I went for a run. That's me literally putting time into investing into my future, my health,
100%.
physical, mental health. It makes me feel confident, it makes me feel empowered. So that then drives me in to feeling that for the rest of the day.
Yes, yeah.
Then, you know, made us a brekkie. That's us. That's me like investing, putting time into something for us that's like gonna fuel us for the day.
But it's different because it's not
things.
just like, you know, it's not just like you know, make brekkie. It's like you pour shredded wheat in shreddies into a bowl, and then you throw the bowl at me and say, eat that, you bastard.
I don't think anyone would be assuming that.
I don't think anyone does that, by the way.
I'm gonna do that to you tomorrow. I'm gonna go and buy a box of shreddies from Home Bargains.
Shredded wheat. But you know, no, but it's like that's, you know, so we get up, we do our run, we map the day out, we sit down, you make breakfast for us, we have that time together, and then we plan, and then it's like we strategize. And then, you know, today we've gone out. And that is a beautiful thing.
That
It's
is
like that's
amazing.
like you're working with your partner.
That's what I mean. Like we've gone out then together. We've exercised. We've had brekkie. We've gone out and, you know, we've done a few errands. We've filmed like a few videos. We've got an idea for the rest of the week
made
together.
each other laugh a lot.
Made each other laugh so much. Like had coffee.
Had some real talk conversations
had some
with each
real
other.
talk. Yeah, had the opportunity to sit for like an hour and like talk about something important.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we've got back, we've done some editing, we've made dinner, we're eating, now we're doing the podcast. It's like, okay, I've made like £0 today. I haven't gone out and earned money like by the hour, or I'm not paid a salary to just like, you know, do my day-to-day sort of stuff. But it's like the wealth of time, the freedom that I've had today has been like, you couldn't have paid me anymore.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
If this was our last day, you know, or if this was everyone's last day, there would have, again, no judgment, but there would have been some people that would have, you know, they might have been at their job from 8 till 5, and then they would have got maybe a couple of hours with their family, and we spent every minute. There wasn't a minute that we were apart today, and we were doing our business as well.
Yeah, and we were putting time and energy into something that, like, you know, we hope to work towards paying off for us, like not only like in money, like we want to be paid for it, but it's like,
well, it is paying, isn't it?
It is paying, like it's growing something for us, and you know, it's like that.
What are you doing with that pillow?
What am I doing with this pillow? This pillow. You know, like that story, like I'm not going to say the full thing because it's long, but it's like you can Google it if you want to see the full one. It's like two brothers, one of them's like working a super stressful investment banking job or something. He's got no time to himself, but he's earning pure dollar,
and he looks like shit, and the other
guy
looks
like shit and he's knackered. And then he's got another brother who's gone and got a little fishing boat and lives, you know, quite humbly and is just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, wealthy businessman brother goes over and he's like, oh, you know, you should really like come to the city. You should, you know, like do what I'm doing, like get all this and stuff. And the other guy's like, yeah, I know what you mean, but why'd you do it? Or like, where do you see yourself in the future? And he's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna retire and just get a little fishing boat and you know, just live quite humbly. And that's not me saying that you shouldn't.
I must say he's quite stupid telling the story that way, because it's like, do you not understand that that's what this guy's doing, and that's
he's
what you just said.
He's not telling the story. An omniscient narrator is telling the story.
Yeah, it's like Chinese whispers though, isn't it? Someone must have told him that story, and it must have come back from the original guy that told that story. And he was like, it's kind of self-righteous. It's like, you know what he said to me? He said, I bloody well I want what you're doing, mate. And I said, well, oh, me? Well, I'm doing it right now. It's kind of a bit of a weird, like, well, you know,
read into the story with that what you will. But what I take away from that is, it's not the point of thinking about like, oh, well, he's gone out and earned all the money so he can go and do this in the future. It's not about that. I just mean that someone is spending their day to day in a way that makes them happy. and someone's spending their day to day in a way that makes them severely unhappy in order to wait for that moment to like live their life and do what they want to do.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not
that.
saying you and me are living as if we're like retired and that we want to get a fishing boat, because we definitely don't. Like, we love working and we love building like our businesses and growing all this together.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, like, if someone was like, oh, you're going to be 70 and, you know, I don't know, 70 is quite old, actually. I can't imagine doing a podcast when I'm 70. But you know, hopefully at that point the podcast will be huge and we'll
well, but you can't think like that.
No, but I just mean like
huge
if our
is like what, like I don't see a day. I can't see a day where we pack up this equipment and say that was the last podcast we ever did. And I still don't see a day where I put the guitar in the case and say that's the last gig I do.
Yeah,
it's just different. It's just a thing of
I know
like,
what you mean.
I feel like I'll be doing gigs until I'm old.
Yeah,
they'll just be different. And maybe the podcast thing, it's like I'll be doing this until I feel like I'm very old. In the same way that I'll try and be making myself laugh, and I'll try to be making you laugh.
That's what I mean. Like, if what you're doing now is making you happy to the point where you can see it being just how your day-to-day life pans out. Not saying that it never changes or grows or stuff like that. But you know as well as me that, you know, money's it's a nasty trick, in the sense that when you start chasing it, it's a downward spiral. You know, it truly is. I really had to like come to grips with that as well, of the thing of not putting money and wealth and material things on a pedestal, thinking that that's success, or that's what you're aiming towards. Like, oh, when you've got those things, like, oh, that's when you'll have made it. And it's like,
but you know, it's like it. But with that said, it's like, well, okay, but that's true, because you don't. There's more to life than money.
Of course.
However, money is incredibly essential, and it's like, if we were in a position, just like anybody else was in a position, to make a living off the thing that they love, you wouldn't say, no, I'm good. And you wouldn't say, oh, well, put a cap on it so I can only make X amount of money.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, yeah, like, I don't see things and be like, oh, no, like, yeah, I've definitely had to learn that. And, like, you've helped me learn that, of not seeing things like,
Mike,
you know...
Mike the helper.
Santa's
little helper.
Of seeing things... It's like,
Daddy's little helper.
Okay. So it's like, I like nice trainers. And I like the idea of having like a nice car that goes, and
yeah, that would be nice.
And having maybe more space, some outdoor space would be nice. Maybe having a bit more like free time where it's like, if I did want to not work for like the next week or two, I can afford that. I've got buffer. I've got money away,
There's a buffet.
There's a buffet. It's unlimited and I'm there.
I honestly think that's your dream. Like,
I love buffets. I know so much. Buffets, though, like, it is a bit stressful for me, because I think I get really worked up over buffets.
Oh, you think? The other day we went for a barbecue at Meg's parents. I've never seen a woman get so irate over the fact that we bought all the gear, like all the gear. We brought all the Charlie and the lemo,
the Molly,
and we bought like a pack. We bought like loads of burgers and chicken and stuff. And then we got there and it was like Meg's dad did us all these like lovely burgers. We had like some nacho starters and stuff, and it was like. And I was like, oh, delicious, oh, great, lovely burger, And Meg was like, we're having another. And I was like, oh no, I'm all right for now. Like, it was only like 6:00. You were like, oh, I hate this. You guys are all lightweights, and like no one's doing another burger. York he's turned the oven off now. And then there was a full chicken in the oven with wedges on the go. And you still wanted the burger, and then I turned around and you were the only one in the kitchen. We were all outside still. You were in the kitchen eating your chicken, your salad, and your wedges, and
watching
Eurovision.
I'm sorry, right? If anyone wants to get in touch with anything about the podcast with us, like, please, I'm honestly begging. This is your time to get in touch. I can't be the only one out there that thinks having one burger at a barbecue is sufficient.
No one was saying that.
My dad
No
made
one
us
was
all
saying
one
that.
burger and then turned the grill off.
No.
I'm sorry, that's not a barbecue, mate.
No. What?
I'm starving.
He made us like 4 lovely burgers.
One
each. He made us those lovely burgers. And then they took a while because they were quite thick. They took about 25 minutes.
They were thick, which is why I wonder what was going through his head. Why didn't he just put them all on so then the other ones could have been going while we were eating those ones?
Because then it's like...
That's what everyone does at a barbecue. You see them, they have like 6...
It's a potential waste. And there was chicken.
Ugh, there would have been no waste.
There was a full chicken and
there
was
wasn't.
wedges to go.
No, it was 8 chicken drumsticks between 4.
That to me is like a full chicken. 8 chicken drumsticks. That's like a lot.
No, there's not like loads of meat on a chicken drumstick. Anyway, we're getting off topic loads, right? But
I said buffet.
You said, right.
I said buffet.
But please get in touch. Like, if you turn up to a barbecue and someone presented you with one burger and then said, oh, I've turned the barbecue off now, like, you'd be confused and hungry.
Yeah,
and okay, there's a few chicken drumsticks and, you know, a handful of wedges if you want in the kitchen.
There was a lot. The chicken drumsticks were massive and the wedges was a full bag. And there was dessert.
Only because I was in charge of that.
And I was
like, right, this is not going to be enough for 4 people. It needs to be about a bag and a half.
And there was nibbles, there was starters, there was plenty.
Nibbles.
There was what were those Doritos and dip?
I didn't get a look in on those, mate, because I was busy doing other things.
There was 2 bags. There was 2 bags.
I had a handful of.
You could have had more.
No, because I was saving myself for all the burgers that we bought.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so what I was saying was, you know, it's not that I don't want all those things or the idea of them all doesn't make me happy and stuff, but also if I'm putting those things like trainers, buffets, cars, things on a pedestal and thinking, oh, I'm not going to be happy until I get those things, or I'm not going to feel successful until I've done those things, then you never will be, because there's always going to be once you get those things, you'll just replace that one with something else, because we live in capitalism and consumerism, and
not to make this
all political.
Although I did start the podcast with get them out at number 10, so that's
immediately political.
That was a joke though. So.
You know, once you buy something, they're gonna want to sell you something new, and no one is immune to it. And like, you can defo have those things and then still be happy with your day to day, feel content, feel grateful, work towards something that you enjoy, put passion into it, put yourself into it, and then, you know, that's when the true success will come, once that is just part of your everyday. Like, you know, when people are like, oh, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a podcast with my partner, like, oh, you know, we just talk about anything, we talk about life and self-growth, and we just try and inject a bit of positivity into the world and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter how many viewers you've got on that point, I'm like, that's a success. And I have to think about it like that. I'm like, that's
totally
a success.
right. You're totally right. And
you know, the outcome, irrespective of the outcome, it's a success. Yeah. And then you're like, let's just keep growing it.
100%. I agree 100% with that. And it's like, you know, you'd be naive to assume that, oh, you know, like, hey man, you know, I don't give a fuck about any of that green. You know, I just do it for the love. And you know, it's like, just put a 6-string in my hand. It's like, yeah, okay. But like, you know, you have to subscribe to the money thing a bit, but it's how far you want to subscribe.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like, you know, look at where we live. We live in a city centre apartment in Liverpool. You know, that 10 years ago, if someone would have said, when we were living in a garage with no toilet or heating, if someone would have said like, hey, you know, a couple of years time you're gonna have this,
and you'll be affording it off your own back.
You'll have no one to, you'll have no
job to turn up to, no one like phoning you like, where are you?
I would have thought that was the dream.
Yeah,
so it's
me
like
too.
So you know, so we're living that dream, and then you go, okay, look, well, how privileged are we that we can afford this time to pursue other ventures. Absolutely. Some people never get that, and you have to be incredibly grateful for that. But with that said, you know, there are a lot of things that people can do to pursue those things, and those are things that we've talked about in plenty of the other podcasts, and which nicely brings us to our second topic. That's just a generic Cockney accent. I can do them all. I can do, as long as it's generic.
Yeah, it's got to be generic.
I can do them all. Yeah. I can do Danny. I could probably do. What was that? That's the X Factor.
Madonna.
Madonna.
I could probably do. I'm better than Madonna. That was it. You're better than Madonna.
That's an X Factor thing. Anyone's seen that?
Should we get on to the announcements?
Let's get on to the actual podcast topic.
Let's jump right in.
So with that said, we're going to be talking about my willy length.
I really want to start in the little description. I want to write some brief things. So in today's episode, we talk about chasing the money, the stress of a buffet. Some little prompts of stuff we talk about, recapping OnlyFans, things like that we've talked about
nice
that
buzzword.
come up. Yeah,
nice,
buzz. Yeah, big buzz topic words.
Yeah.
We'll throw in a few that we never even mention just to keep you on your toes.
Just funny words. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so
So yeah, what was so it was so yeah, with it being the 10th, with it being the 10 episodes, we had this plan at the start of the start of this bloody thing that we started that that'll be us one day getting a poddy. Do they have podcast awards called the poddy?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
we should start one, shouldn't we?
Yeah, the poddy awards.
The poddy, and then you've also got one called the potty, which is for the best ceramic toilet. And then we get invited to the potty instead of the poddy. We turn
up to the potties instead of the potties.
We win. We've never done anything. We've never done anything to do with toilets.
It's you, me holding a little ceramic trophy award.
Yeah. So we said at the start of this of Keep Growing that after 10 episodes we were going to do 10 introductory episodes to us and to a generic overview of our life and some of the things that we some of our habits and not. I'm sorry. Is this funny? Is our life funny to you?
No, but it's just that time of night now. I've just had that big square of Reese's and I've got the giggles.
Yeah, me too. I've got the giggies too. The giggles. Okay, just bring it back.
Just say what. There's two things. You take one of them. I'm gonna take the second one.
Time. Time is lost. Time hath, my lord. Remember that in college?
Is that from Othello? You and Dan, your story.
Time hath, my lord. Oh, is it Othello or is it Taming of the Shrew or something?
Time hath, my lord.
We're getting off topic
actually,
anyway.
Yeah, we've done that a lot this one.
It's night time, but I think maybe this one was our best one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it was 10. We're gonna do 10. After this 10 series, which will finish with this one, we're gonna start doing a mini series called Keep Growing Together, which is gonna be us, hopefully, getting some people on from our local communities that we find inspiring, people that have got their own. I mean, everyone's got their own story. That's stupid to say that no one's got their own story. Oh, what? You've got no story? No, but it's going to be something that's that we're working on, because the main constrictions that we have is that we have these 2 mics and we have 1 camera and we have 2 lights. Mm-hmm. So we'd need to invest in another light, at least another 1 microphone, and then potentially another camera as well, like a decent DSLR camera. So we're currently working around that, and we're hoping that by this time next week we've got that locked in.
Yeah.
And I can safely say I know we will, because that's how we roll. We'll figure it out. But for the next 10, we're gonna potentially try and get people on and interview them and have a conversation with them, and potentially look at maybe doing it alongside some podcasts of our own, so we keep doing stuff together.
Yeah.
And then we also look at sort of getting some other people on.
Yeah, it'd be like a series where we'll just interview
nice
people, and
there's a lot of cool people out there that we find inspiring.
So many cool people.
It's it'd be great to just put that out. There's people that we know that that have done really positive, inspiring things, and it's good to share that and give that a voice.
Yeah, so true.
So we're passionate about trying to develop that a little bit. And we've also, well, why don't you take the second thing, hon?
And then sort of a little extension on that of the Keep Growing Together little phase mini-series that we're going to do on the podcast. We also want to start hosting potentially weekly or monthly, or we haven't figured out the details of it yet, but we want to have meetups, basically. We want people to be able to come together in like a nice safe space where it's like you have that little, like that, like I say, like that boost of people who are, you know, positive, trying to keep each other accountable for things, and just, you know, just be able to meet people that you connect on something with. And you know, we just, yeah, because it's us two talking here, and whenever we get to talk to people out and about the podcast, it always makes us so happy. And it's like, oh, like, there's something definitely here. And you know, don't get me wrong, you could go out and meet up with anybody and it'd be really nice, but putting yourself in that environment where, like, oh no, like I go like this Keep Growing club, and it's just a bunch of people who are all doing things, and you know, we all chat, and you know, maybe there's like a run and then coffee, or
there's live music,
live
everyone
music.
pays an admission fee.
You know, there's
That's a joke.
Yeah, there's, you know, it's just something, because it's all well and good us doing this podcast here, and then maybe you listening as you're cleaning, or you're watching the YouTube and just thinking like, oh, that's really cool. But you know,
we want to do something.
It kind of ends
like,
there. We want to carry on.
We want to connect on a deeper level. Not too deep.
Not too deep. Yeah, we don't want to get together and, like, you know, there's therapy for that and stuff. But you know, like, don't be a downer. Just like
what?
Don't be a downer.
No, I think like I think the idea of like of us doing this meetup, and it's like, you know, people might see what we're doing. I mean, I've had people talk to me in the past couple of weeks, and they seem to really resonate with the things we're saying. And I think maybe people who are maybe people who are a little bit younger don't have people who talk and sound like us talking to them. They might not be surrounded by those kind of people. They might not be, you know, and they're younger. When we were younger, we didn't have that. We were surrounded by negative people, and we were probably in the same boat. So I don't mind the idea of, like, if we were doing a meetup and it was like, okay, let's go for a run, let's go and get a coffee, and let's talk, and let's watch some things that are going on. If people want to offload some of that stuff,
I was only messing. I just
meant...
No,
you hate those people.
No, I just meant like...
You're in the wrong business.
No, I meant like, you know, it's not a therapy session, you know what I mean? Like,
it kind of not. It's all right. It's not a paid, you know, psychoanalyst like psychotherapist session. But I don't mind. For me personally, I don't mind the idea of it being like, all right, look, like we can talk here, and you can offload some of your stuff. Yeah. The difference would be it's like, well, we actually might talk or say things to you in response that you might not want to hear, and you might not want to follow certain things that we say, and you might feel alienated, because it's that thing, isn't it? Some people might say like, there's this problem in my life, and they might want that to be sort of fed, and they want to be sort of, you know, you want us to feed, you know what it's like. You want to feed into that misery a bit. And with us, you wouldn't necessarily get that. What you'd get is maybe a more sterner approach of like, well, look, you need to do these things, and if you're not doing those things, nothing's going to change, and nothing's going to help. No, we're not going to be. We wouldn't be bastards. We wouldn't, like, you know, we wouldn't be saying this with like a whip.
You've got to think about, like, you know, we're not professionals. We're in no way able to like solicit serious advice for people. That's what I meant. Like, it's not like we're going to meet up and then it's like, oh, we're going to like tell you how to fix all your problems or anything. I just meant like... I
don't think anyone would expect that. I don't think anyone would expect us to be their therapist.
No, but it's good to just be like, you know...
No, I think what it is it's like you know, one of your cute quirks.
What?
It's that thing of like, you know, you don't want to, you know, you think it's like you put this big expectation on it, that like it's going to be quite demanding, or that there's a potential that it might be, you know, like people would show up and see us as therapists and see us as like their shining light, whereas it's like, I don't think people would think that. And I also I don't think a lot of what necessarily, like, you know, say if someone did go to like a proper therapist, or, you know, someone who's got all the credentials or something, you know, that's a whole other topic of conversation which we don't have to go into now, but it's like, would they say some of the things that we say? And would it be as helpful? No, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to go head to head with a clinical therapist. I just mean I'll take you all on.
That's our first guest. It's going to be Mike versus a clinical therapist.
I'd get destroyed. Like, they come at me so hard. No, but I'm just saying it's like
turn up, come as you are. As said Kurt Cobain. Come as you are. Anyone is welcome, and be putting out the details.
Well,
of that
not
soon.
anyone.
Anyone is welcome, obviously.
Oh, I see. So I guess if a bunch of Nazis come, we'll just welcome them with open arms. Come here, Nazis. We shouldn't do these anymore at night. We're gonna have to start doing these more in the morning.
So yeah, we'll round her off there. Don't come to the meetup if you're a Nazi. We're not
Nazis.
interested. But apart from that,
If
turn up.
you've got nothing nice to say,
Yeah, if you got nothing nice to say, Nazis, then don't turn up.
or maybe you're not a Nazi, but maybe you just don't have anything nice to say. Maybe you're one of our many haters.
Yeah, don't turn up and like egg us or something if you don't like us.
Someone put in a comment in one of our videos.
Oh my god, yeah.
We put-
No, it was one of our videos, but it was
a
just
video
targeted to mine.
specifically just that I was in, and it was a video about learning to it was like a 10-second video of me just walking into a frame, sitting down and breathing. There was no I didn't speak, I didn't say anything, I just sat down and took a breath. Hey, should we put it on YouTube? Well, that's a great idea. Let's put it on YouTube because that's a great way that we can share our message. I love that. Great. Put it on YouTube. Fucking first comment. Only comment. First top comment. Stop breathing. Now listen, guys.
That's so funny.
That's great. Love that for a start. That you're just pissing yourself. It's like thank God I'm not fragile. Thank God it's not like where I'm like, oh my God. Like, but just a really quick little thing. I was speaking to someone this week who is going through something similar. Dealing with bullies, and we were talking about how do you get around that? How do you get past that? And I'm not, the situation that this person was in seemed quite intense, and this is just a little troll. But I saw that and I was pissing myself. I was like, that's hilarious. Like,
that is hilarious.
It's like the biggest fuck you, and it's like, I kind of wanted to engage and be like, that's really that's pretty funny, man. But you're gonna get hate anywhere. We get it all the time. I mean, a lot of the time, I feel like it's. Is it only hate we're getting at this point? Like,
I mean, like,
online.
If you looked up all the comments that we get across YouTube, just YouTube, because we don't really get many comments on Instagram. I think every Instagram comment we get is really nice.
Yeah. No,
we never get a bad comment on Instagram, but
100%.
YouTube, say if we've had overall in all of our videos 5 comments, one of them's calling us nerds, and the other one's telling Mike to stop breathing.
And the other one is showing us other podcasters that make better videos than us.
Saying about where we lack, basically. So funny.
But hey, listen.
But yeah, it's all part of the process, and it does make us laugh.
And it's been our pleasure making these videos and these podcasts for you guys. Next week's going to be great. We're gonna hopefully get our first person on. We're gonna have our first meetup, so we're gonna be with you guys. There's gonna be more talking, more laughs, more jokes, more positivity, which is it's just what we need.
It's what the world needs.
And just try and try and have a laugh. When you go out or when you see someone, try and make someone laugh. I tell you, it's like when I make you laugh, or when I make myself laugh, or when we make each other laugh. It's the best therapy. It's just like the cheapest medicine. You just feel so good. Seeing someone beam or like making someone proper belly laugh is just great.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a comedian, but just have a go, see how it feels. It's better than rocking up and saying, "Oh God."
Yeah.
Oh God, like this, that, and the other, and it's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Not saying you can't vent, but maybe we should do more of these at night.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's calm.
Can't be asked putting all this stuff away now, though, mate.
Well, we should just leave it all here actually, and then we can just jump straight back in.
That'll annoy me tomorrow. Because it's my space.
My space.
I mean, it's ours. My space, the app.
Your space. You didn't say it was our space then, which is maybe something we need to talk on, Han. The next time we're talking.
All right, everyone, we'll leave you there.
We'll see. It's been so fun talking to you guys. I can't wait to join you on our next episode of Keep Groining.
Keep groining.
Keep groining. Matt Groening.
Who's that?
Matt Groening. He made The Simpsons.
Oh, brill.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Really excited. Thanks so much for just being with us and being present and all the lovely comments.
Yeah.
Stop breathing.
Just like, stop breathing.
The next short that we should put up should be me doing this.
Help, I stop breathing.
Oh no, we
God.
peaked.
Oh,
Oh God.
sorry.
That's you. That you can see it right in the track.
Sorry.
It's alright. We'll just have to go over that now while we can and just drop it.
All right, no worries. I'll leave that with you. Night night, everyone.
Good night, all. Bye.
Night night. Sleep tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.